Hello, Smarty. Yeah. God. Oh, magic. Smarty, you did it.
Thank you.
Hey, Smarty.
So what's going on with you guys? Nice to see you.
Oh, I want to just make sure the viewers at home are aware. Smarty and I regularly have Zoom chats where we just hang out and talk about stuff. And without fail, every single one of them starts immediately with Smarty doing a bit at me. So I want you all to just know this isn't a special thing that he did just for you. He does this to me every time,
It'll be nice to have a bigger audience than just you.
just me.
Yeah, I'm going broader. I'm going to start with one person and maybe I'll shoot for the stars. Maybe I'll get 12, maybe
That's really
15.
generous of you.
Yes. I will say that I will admit something. I don't practice anything for you. It's a power of improv. I just pick
Yeah,
out the song and I just feel it. I just go with it.
and it's just whatever happens to be laying around,
Yeah. I mean,
you make it silly.
some people would have woken up early. They would have to practice, have to rehearse, have to think things through, but not me. I have a pump, I have a balloons, I have my house. I'm good to go.
Well, I think that's a great philosophy, and honestly, probably one of your superpowers as a performer.
Yeah, I feel like the more you stress about doing something very perfectly, the less likely it's going to happen very perfectly. Sometimes
Right.
sometimes just doing what you feel is very natural, and then the people like that better.
Yeah. Um, I was just
I will also
posting.
mention I get much more nervous the smaller the audience the more that my nerves go up. If there was 1,000 people watching, I would be fine. I wouldn't even be breaking a sweat. But since it's just you, I'm
It's just
like,
me.
oh, whew,
And
where's my
I have very refined tastes, and you have to impress me.
yes? Where's my
Yeah.
where's my inhaler? There's one person in the audience. I better not screw this up.
Oh man, Smarty, I can't wait to see you soon in Vegas. This is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Twist and Shout. Big picture, if you have never been to Twist and Shout, it is an experience like you've never experienced, and the experience of the experience will change your life. It
Yes.
really is one of my all-time favorite times of the year.
Yeah. Because I was just reminiscing that I, you're like primarily the reason why I started doing balloon shows. And I took your class in Chicago 2010, I think it was.
2010, yeah, that was the
You
first
taught your
Twist and Shout.
performance class. And like very generously in that class, you were like, hey, just steal this show wholesale, do it, practice, and then develop it, and you'll come up with your own stuff. And I did exactly that. My very first balloon show was more or less a copy of yours with a few changes. And but it gave me the confidence to go on and like develop my own original material. So I'm really excited you're doing this master class. Um, I I wanted to ask you before I ask you about the class and stuff. I feel like especially new people might not understand this whole concept of like a master class. So could you explain a little bit like what that is and how people can sign up for it?
All right, so I think the master class, the classes at Twist and Shout are really they're very focused, and they're usually just about out 90 minutes or maybe 2 hours. And like for your example, you're teaching like how to make balloons that you could ride inside. That's a very
Right.
specific focus, and it's also to Twist and Shout. It's very balloon focused. Master classes, I think, take a like a broader overview, much more than you can get in just 2 hours. So, like for example, last year Matt Falloon taught a really good class on how to create a balloon show. And how did he do that? He said, okay, here are the things you're going to need. You're going to need a microphone. You're going to need to sit down and write a script. You're going to have some material. You're going to have some routines. It's a lot of material to pack into an hour and a half. It's
Right.
really, I'd say, I would say it's the difference between watching the Harry Potter movie, which is a class, and reading the book.
Yeah.
Um, so for this master class, I think I'm going to do a lot more than I can ever possibly pack in an hour and a half. I feel like by an hour and a half into this, we're just going to get warmed up.
Yeah. So what can people expect?
What can people expect? So the name of the class is called "Let's Get Serious About Getting Silly." And what does that mean? That means people ask me. This is where it came from. Is people ask me all the time. They say, "How do you do a balloon show? How do you take the leap from making balloons at a party or a line twisting and turn it into a show?" And I think that question doesn't really mean how to actually do a balloon show, because a balloon show is really easy. You sit down, you come up with some routines, you stack them in order. I think what they really mean is how do I get started doing a show? And
Right.
I think that's really what we're attacking. And doing a show, I think the routines and the methods and the things that the tricks and the balloons, that's this part. But really, the second part is really, I think we forget about it. That's you. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You can buy a DVD or a download with these routines. You've helped people come up with routines. You can get routines, but really, what's most important is people really want to see something special, and they want to see you. You're the most unique person in the world because no one's like you. So I
Yeah.
think the class is really focused on really developing the idea that you can do a show. The routines are important too, but that I think that the routines will come once you realize who you are and what you want to do on stage to entertain people.
Mhm. Yeah. So it sounds like we're really going to be getting people exploring themselves and exploring who they are as like entertainers.
Yeah, and I think another real like stumbling block that people ask me. Someone said it. I won't name her name, but I think she's fantastic. But she said, "Oh, I can't do a show." And of course, I said, "Why not?" She goes, I'm too nervous in front of big groups, especially groups of
Mhm.
kids." And my response was really like, "Well, that's exactly why you should take this class."
Yeah.
People are afraid. The number one fear of people is public speaking, and it's not even the speech, which I think is the routine. It's getting up in front of people, and you're afraid to fail. You're afraid to look stupid. You're
Mhm.
afraid to mess up and have everyone be like, "That was really terrible." And
Yeah.
I feel like that fear is very normal. And to become a good entertainer, you have to become abnormal. You have to say,
Yeah.
"Okay, lots of people are afraid. I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to have to develop this like sense of fearlessness that it's hard to do. I still get nervous all the time, but you have to say, No matter whether I'm afraid or not, I have to get in there. And the only way to do that is just to do that. That's really, there's no secret.
Right. Yeah. You're calling it "Let's get serious about being silly." So this is going to be a serious class about silliness. Um, but when you say serious, like I'm assuming people aren't just going to be sitting and watching in this
No,
class.
I really, there's been really great master classes I've sat through where there was PowerPoints and I sat down and took notes. I really went home. I said, okay, and we're going to learn a lot. And those classes have a place. I really felt like to develop a show, you have to do it. And that means we're not
Yeah.
sitting in chairs. We're not writing down things in notebooks. We're not looking at PowerPoints. We're actually doing it. And how do we do that?
Mm,
We play clown games. We do exercises. We do improv. We get silly. And if you feel like you're nervous, you feel like you're going to be looking dumb, you have to get over that. And I'll
mm,
help you. I'll hold your hand. I'll bring you in. Um,
yeah.
but the only way to succeed in this class, and I think as an entertainer, is you have to say, I'm going to do this. And then
Yeah.
there's going to be good shows. There's going to be bad shows. I'm going to be embarrassed. I'm going to be just like, there's going to be people that didn't like me, but I don't care. I'm just going to keep at it. And that's
Right.
really, I think that this class is really the first step. It's sort of like day one of silly school. If you've
Yeah.
never if you've never performed, you're my person. If you have plenty of
Right.
experience, that's great. But if you're out there and you say, I've never done a show before, I only make balloons, I make them at parties or lunch or thing, I always wanted to do a show, then this is really the class for you. This is the class where you walk in and I say, welcome to shows. We're going to get started with day one right now.
Yeah. I think it's really important that you're doing this class specifically because I mean people aren't often introduced to this. A lot of us as entertainers, because we come into it through balloons or through face painting or through learning how to juggle or something, we're all taught the skills, right? You and I have talked a lot about yeah, we all have the skills. We have the technical skills of making a balloon or juggling or whatever. But it's that nitty gritty of like, what do you do with that in front of an audience? How do you make an audience care about you? Because they don't care. Audiences don't care about juggling, and they almost really don't even care about balloons. What they care about is the person making them.
Exactly. People ask me, they say, how'd you get into this? And I'm like, well, the front door is like you went to drama school, like my daughter, you were early to theater. The back door is like, oh, I was like an actor and then I got into like stage shows. I kind of jumped in through the window. You know, I started just making balloons and then I started, I think this could be a show. So I really had no theatrical training at all. In fact, I did things really fast backwards where I started a show with really no experience or training or any kind. And then I kind of figured it out along the way. Um, I think that this class is going to really help people in that I'm self-taught. So and it was a hard thing to do. It took me like 20 years. I still feel like I'm trying to get a little better, but I feel like it,
Yeah,
this is the kind of thing where you just need someone to kind of give you a little helping hand and then throw you into the pool and you'll be
yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah. I've thought this about you for years, and I especially about your teaching style. Like the way you teach and the ideas that you have are they're very accessible, um, but also in a way that you can like immediately apply it. Like I when I took your class and I immediately applied it, but you also have this way of drawing something out of people. There's like this like I have been to classes with really top level elite performers, and that's great, but I feel just completely out of my depth. When I'm hanging out with you, I feel like you're just like a guy I know, which you are a guy I know. But even
Right.
before I knew you, I felt like you were just a guy I know. And it felt like, oh, this idiot can do it. I can do it too. This is great.
It's absolutely true. I have really, and someone again messaged me and I said, we're going to be doing lots of like clown games. We're going to get sweaty. We're really going to have fun. And we're really going to, and she
Yeah.
goes, oh, I don't know if that's, I have like, limitations with my body and I don't think it's right for me. And I said, it's absolutely right for you. I am the
Yeah.
least athletic person in the world. I can't dance. I can't play any sports. My brain says do this and my body does it. I taught, and I just taught myself. I said, I'm going to learn how to juggle. Am I
Yeah.
a good juggler? No. Can I did, but I said I'm going to learn how to juggle. And if I can learn how to juggle, for example, you can.
Yeah.
Um, it's really the question of I think what I'm going for is we're not in a business where like you're going to be great. Just
Right.
say, okay, here where I am, and I'm going to look to get better. And
Yeah.
whatever that step means, just try to get incrementally better. And no matter how bad you are to start, Just try to get better, and you will. I feel like the power of positive thing. You say, I'm going to try to get better. I'm going to try to get better. I'm going to practice this. I'm going to get better, and you will.
Yeah.
It's really don't. I think a lot of people get very nervous and discouraged where they don't really have a reason to be.
Hmm. Yeah, that taking that leap to do some physical stuff that you maybe aren't comfortable with can be scary for some people, but I think it's really important. And kind of on that point, I did want to ask you, like, how should people prepare in terms of like what they're wearing and anything that they should bring?
I would think should be prepared to move around.
Yeah.
So, leave your tuxedo at home. Again, this is not going to be like a hardcore aerobics class where you're going to need to be in like top physical Olympic shape. But be prepared to like move your body around. Be prepared to like, but again, this is not, we'll take a few breaks, but this is not a class where you're just going to be sitting in a seat writing down notes. Be
Right.
prepared to move around. Beyond that, just come as you are. Again, this is a beginner class. You're not going to need aerobics experience. You're not going to need clowning experience. You're not going to need really any experience. The only thing I ask of you is just be open, be ready. The last
Yeah.
one thing that drives me crazy, and this is a class years ago that someone taught a movement class, and someone just flat out decided they didn't want to participate, and it really brought the class to like a hard stop. Where almost we said like, if you don't want to participate, you should just leave because the only way you can do something wrong is by not trying, if that
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So just come in with an open mind. And again, just know that this will not be like some serious, this won't be Gaulier in France where he makes people cry. Um, I want you to have fun. I want you to leave this master class thinking, that was really so fun. That was 4 hours of so fun. I got my blood cooking. I got my brain going. I'm going to go home and I might not launch my huge stage show right off the bat, but I might bring a little more energy to a party than I did previously. I'm
Yeah.
feeling a little bit more confident about doing more than I
Right.
did before I came to Twist and Shout, before I came to this master class.
You'll have the confidence to act like a goofball on your next Zoom meeting.
Yeah. And
Even just that.
one thing I found, and this was also over the years, I've kind of collected like little things that stuck with me.
Yeah.
And I'll give you like a really short story of why I think this is a really important class.
Mm.
I had a friend of mine, and he lives in Austin, and he would do these like very raunchy burlesque shows, with a cast of women that like took their clothes off. And I said, "How are the shows going?" He goes, "The shows in Austin are okay, but we do play amazing in Dallas." And that seems strange to me. I said, Austin's a more liberal city, and Dallas is a little bit more buttoned up. It would seem the opposite. Austin, you would get these great crowds, and Dallas, you'd be people that were like not quite into it. It goes the opposite. In Austin, half the city is totally fine taking their clothes off. But in Dallas, because they're a little bit more conservative, we do things that they're afraid to do. They live vicariously through our show.
Right.
And
Oh,
that's
interesting.
why they wish they could go on stage, but they could never do it. Where in Austin, everyone's a little bit more loosey-goosey. And that really
Right.
stuck with me, that the reason people like entertainers in general is because we do things that are scary. We do things that people are afraid to do. We get up on
Right.
stage, a lot of times by ourselves. There's no safety net. We're out there a lot of times giving out our original material that we don't know if you're going to like. We hope you will. And it's
Right.
terrifying. So the audience will like you just for the fact that you're doing something that they know it's scary, and they kind of wish they were you, and they live a little bit vicariously through you.
Wow. That's
So that's
really great.
something,
It's
yeah.
almost like if you're too comfortable up on stage, you're probably not doing a great show.
Yeah, I think sometimes people, again, like at the gala last year, someone came up to me and she goes, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you get up there and just like talk. I'd be so nervous. I'm like, well, I grew up with a very like domineering mother that made me do a lot of things I didn't want to do. So now that I'm a grown up, my mother doesn't tell me what to do, but I just listen to that voice. It says, go do it. Get out there, do it. You don't have a choice. So I think that's it. That's kind of my secret, my hack is I just tell myself, just do it. You don't have a
Yeah.
choice. And
Yeah.
that's because we all have that little voice in us that says, maybe we don't do this. Maybe we'll change our mind. Maybe we'll skip it. And again, I think in this business and in this kind of job, this kind of area, the worst thing you can do is nothing. I'd
Yeah.
rather see someone get up on stage and crash and burn. It's terrible. It's horrible than not even try. To me,
Yeah.
that's the worst. That's the worst experience you can have, is not even having an experience at all.
Yeah. Do you hear that, everybody? Smarty's mom tells you you have to take this class.
She does. She doesn't have that power over me. I'm a grown up now. But when I was a kid, I did whatever she said. But
Yeah.
now I just tell myself to do that stuff, and I
Yeah.
just do it.
Yeah. So if you want to sign up for a master class, you do have to sign up for that separately from the regular classes. The master classes are hosted on Wednesday. What's the time of your class on
The
Wednesday?
class is 8:30 to 12:30 in Wednesday morning. There
Wednesday
is a button
morning.
right on the Twist and Shout homepage to sign up. It is in the morning. I think that works really well because we'll kind of all get up, we'll have some coffee, we'll get started, and that leaves the rest of the day to kind of get into the mix for Twist and Shout. I was kind of
Yeah,
hesitant to have it in the afternoon. I felt like this by Wednesday afternoon things started get rolling, and I don't want people to feel like they're missing out on the rest
right.
of Twist and Shout because we were playing off on our own. So
Yeah,
we're gonna do the morning, and then
sounds good.
we'll wrap up by 12:30, and then you'll have the rest of the day to jump into Twist and Shout as things get
Great.
started that day.
Yeah, we're all gonna have to take a power nap and get ready for the pajama jam.
Yes, I will definitely probably take a little nap, but yeah, so it's Wednesday morning, so plan on
Yeah,
coming in, Tuesday evening, which I recommend anyway. I think Twist and
yeah,
Shout, it's nice to get there earlier to kind of get yourself situated and just get comfortable before the big hoopla starts on a
yeah,
Wednesday night.
yeah. Smarty, this is awesome. I'm super excited for your class. I think people are gonna get a lot of value out
Yeah, and again, I just want to emphasize, if you're on the fence, you're like, I don't know, I don't really do a show, just give it a chance, and I promise
of it.
you, if as a famous man named David Brenn once said, if this guy can do it, anyone can do it.
Yeah, anyone
And
can
at
do
the
it.
very worst, you'll get, you'll get your like blood flowing after like a long
Yeah,
ass plane ride, and you'll
right.
walk out of that class saying, I feel more confident. I feel better now than I did 4 hours ago.
That's great. Can't wait to see you in Vegas, buddy. Bye. Bye. Bye, Smarty. Bye.
See you in Vegas.
See you. Bye. This guy is seriously silly. Nice.